Hey Rick.
Hey
Yeah,
man,
I'm
how you
here.
doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, man. What's going on? What can I help you out with?
Yeah, so I think I don't have a contract yet, but this person wants to sell his property for 165, 170K.
Okay.
And I think the ARV has a 240, 250 and needs about 30 to 40K worth of work. Can you take a look at it and see if that makes sense?
Okay. So let's do this. What's the ARV of the property?
240 or 250, I think,
Okay. I'm just going to take 240. You know why?
because the market is going down. Or
That's what you do. So always stay on the other side of it. Okay. It's
Mhm.
so what's the repairs needed?
I'm thinking like 30 to 40K. So let's put it at 40.
Okay. Okay. So we're kind of talking about like a net 200,000, and then where are you at on the number with them?
165 to 170 for each property.
So are these two separate properties?
They're on the same street, so across from each other
Okay. And so is that repairs total for both of them, or is that just one each one?
for each one.
Okay. And have you I assume you're talking to the seller, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So um James, tell me what your experience level is. How long you been doing this for?
I just started like 3 days ago, to be honest.
Awesome. Okay. So let me ask you this. Um let's go through this. Okay? It's a good exercise. Okay, what's his motivation?
He wants to sell both of the properties because his brother lives like nearby, and I guess he's stealing from his porch and everything. Wants to move out to like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Did you say he's stealing? What I don't understand.
Yeah, so it was given to his younger brother,
Okay.
but he bought him out because he wasn't Social Security disability, he
I got it.
wasn't working or anything.
Okay.
Um, so now that he
Hmm.
owns it, he bought him out. But the younger brother that's living close by is always stealing from him.
Oh Lord. Okay. Okay. So he just he's just kind of tired of it, right? Like just
Yeah.
I would say he's tired.
Hmm.
How long has he owned it for?
More than 10 years, I believe.
Okay. And that fits the profile. Is he an older gentleman?
Hmm.
Okay. So he kind of fall did he live in it or was are these renters?
He's living in one, and then the other one is vacant at the moment.
So he probably rented it at some time, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So he's going to fall under like the tired landlord syndrome, which
Yeah.
is that's good. Okay. Cuz guys, I'm telling you, properties aren't like stocks. They will wear people out, and if you're not conditioned to manage properties, they will eat you alive. I have been in this. I used to own 30 units, and it was a lot of work. I hired a company, and I spent full time working with the company, and it just drove me crazy. So we kind of know the condition. What are most of the repairs? Is it cosmetic? Is it structural? What is it?
He didn't say anything structural, so mostly just cosmetics.
Okay. Have so are you doing this market locally or virtually?
I'm doing it virtual.
Okay. So here's the biggest challenge when you do on the virtual market. It's always condition because
Right.
the reality is you can't verify it. So you're taking a lot of people's words for it. And this is one of the real challenges in virtual markets because if that 40,000 winds up being 80,000, there's no
Hmm.
deal here at all. And that's
Right.
what you got to find a way to quickly to assess those numbers. So how have you dealt with that yet to get someone to take a look at it or have the owner send you pictures?
So I was trying to have the owner send the pictures, but he's an older gentleman, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
didn't know how. Um,
Just
so
tell them to whip out his Polaroid.
so
I grew up during the Polaroid issue, guys, where you shook you waved it, shake it like a Polaroid picture. There's a reason they have a song like that. So,
I was
your
trying to get
biggest
a boots on
challenge.
the ground. Yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me it's how's the roof on it? Are you replacing roofs?
He said he doesn't think it needs a roof repair. He said it's about probably 15, 20 years old.
Okay, just to let you know, that's an old roof, buddy.
Okay.
So you need to figure out what the price on the roof is, and whoever goes look at it, Make sure they look up and see if there's any leaks in there.
Okay.
Okay. What's his time frame?
A month or two.
Okay. And you know where he's going, right?
Yeah.
Where's he going to live with his brother?
No, Myrtle Beach in South
Okay.
Carolina.
There you go. Okay. So we'll say 60 days.
Okay.
So he's got a plan for that. And then the price on that, we're basically saying 165 to 170K. Right?
Hmm.
So now we can all see it, which actually helps us out a little bit. So now we can kind of work on deals. So now we've got to come up with. So where are you at with it? So how long ago did you talk to him, and have you given him have you figured out a price yet?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him yesterday, and he's firm on the like 165, 170.
Okay.
So pretty much at 165.
Okay. So honestly, if you wind up stuck with the numbers, you better know what the actual repairs are. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble on this because here's the thing, dude. Tired landlords like this, especially two houses on the same street, they typically know something you don't know. Okay. If that house needs two roof, you got to add 40 grand to this thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you can go in your county records. Usually they have a records for when they pulled permits for the roof. And
Okay.
you need to talk to them about the roof, and you need to talk about the age of the HVAC system too. Okay.
HVAC. Okay.
Those are typically going to be your two biggest expenses. If the AC is 10, 12 years old, the roof's 15, 20, whoever goes to do the final rehab for this house is going to have to address that situation. So when you go to sell it to a fix and flipper, he's going to probably discount that property that amount. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. So if you have a good roof and all that other stuff, 165 could be a good deal. But I'm just telling you, they're usually setting you up for some sort of failure on this. And unless you
Okay.
can verify the repairs on this house, I would be a little bit suspect. Stop worrying about what he's firm on. Like, who cares? Like, you have to buy it to make sure it's a right number.
Right.
Okay. And so what you could do is you could put it under contract for 165 and send somebody in to look at the HVAC and the roof. You could pay someone a little bit of money to go by there and take a look at it. They'll write it up. If you know it's old and it's bad, you can just right off the bat. Listen, when people want more money from me, I'll play the game with them because unfortunately that's what some people need. Okay. Now, if you verify you had two bad roofs and two bad old ACs, if you have the problem, every buyer is going to have that exact same problem. So you're going to have to get it lower when you do that. So if you want to put it under contract and just go on the back door and just say, listen, I checked the roofs out. They look like they're 15 years old plus. Like, they really need to be replaced. Now, I'm not into fixing roofs that don't leak, but remember, you are going to sell it to very educated cash buyers. And remember, cash buyers, they're looking at everything right now. And I promise you, the first thing they're going to look at is the HVAC on the roof. And when they find out it's old, they're going to like, listen, I can give you like, I'll take it for like 130. Yeah, that's what you're going to be stuck with those numbers because they're going to take that. So say it needs another, say combined on that is another 35,000. So if you go with 200,000, 200K, that we figure that, and then you minus off another 35,
165.
you're down to 165 and you haven't even put in a profit in there yet.
Right.
Okay. So in like the perfect world, unless he can prove otherwise, you can't really offer, in my opinion, more than like 155 for it because that problem is, and by the way, all tired landlords do this. Like, oh, the roof's fine. Don't worry about it. This roof's fine. The problem is when the property gets inspected, it's never going to pass. Okay.
Mm.
So if it's not going to pass with you, why is it going to pass with like an end user? So either a fix and flip has to work with it or replace it. And there's nothing worse than rehabbing an entire property to find out it's got an old roof on it. Did you know my wholesales are predicated if it's got a newer roof or not? If it's got an old roof, I don't even, I just sell them as is. Like, I just move on. It takes 6 months to get a roof on in Florida and it costs a fortune. So you're in the right area. Stop worrying about the word firm. I hate that word, firm. He's firm. So you be firm on when you offer yours. Remember, you've got to get it at a price that completely makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay. And if it doesn't make sense, you're going to be stuck. Now, Have you given them an offer back?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So this is the perfect scenario where you can practice going for no. So have you heard me say go for no before? Have you ever heard
I
my
think you were
live
saying
stream?
that yesterday, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So if you go in the freewholesaling.com, we teach you on there. You want to get a no on your initial response. You know why?
Why is that?
Because you want to get a counter back from them, which is more data. So you can structure an offer that's going to work for both parties. Okay.
Mm,
If you don't know where he's thinking, just because he says I'm 165 firm, dude, when they say firm, I play with him even more. I just, who cares? It doesn't, a firm is the same as an ask, in my opinion. So he's in a market where firm does not work anymore. Okay. The last 4 years you could do firm and we knew people weren't playing around. When I say firm now, I'm going to play with them more than I ever have. Okay. So I would come in at a much lower offer. I'd start at like 130, 140 and just get a reaction out of them. How do you do that without getting kicked out of the house, James?
what do you mean?
If you're going to make a lowball offer, how do you avoid being kicked out of the house or kicked in your fanny? What do
I
you do?
I, I don't know, honestly.
You build rapport with them. You get to know them.
Mm,
Like you go through the process we teach you in freewholesaling.com. Because if you make a lowball offer and you haven't connected with the seller, it's a one-way ticket out the door. Okay. So the word firm means nothing. I want you to ignore it. And if anything, it should motivate you to even offer lower because firm means pay this retail price or get out of my face.
right.
We don't play like, okay, get the quality of a house that belongs a firm offer. That's not a firm offer. You've got an old roof, you probably got old ACs, and you need what, 20 grand of work in each house. There's no firm offer at all. It's going to be a
Right.
really soft offer. So
So how would you go about getting those people to go out there, take a picture for you?
that's something you're going to have to figure out because everyone's in a different market in a different place. You've just started. That's the good news. So
Yeah.
why did you wind up picking up this market out? Is it you have a past history there? Do you know it, or
No,
you
I was
pick?
actually just watching one of the Zach's video where he was giving out 50 states best market to go for.
Okay. So
And
you're going to have to figure this part out. I honestly, I don't even know if I'd send somebody out there. I would just go back and just say, listen, I kind of looked at it. I looked at the age of the roof. I'd ask them, how old's your AC system? Retired landlords don't replace the AC until it's dead. Like they don't do any maintenance on them. They're all like really, really bad. So just ask them, how old's the roof? How old's the AC system? And when you start finding, I go, looked on, and he goes, oh, I don't know. I go, look on the county records, your roof's 18 years old. The average life of a roof is 15 to 20 years, just so you know, in the
mm,
United States.
okay,
So even though it's not leaking, they're going to pay significantly more insurance, and end buyers do not want old dated roofs because that's the investment that protects the house. So I would just kind of go in with that. I'd give him a low ball offer and just see where he winds up. Then decide if you want to send somebody in. And then here's what I say. I go, listen, I'll consider 165, but it's got to be great shape. You know, it's not even close to great shape. So before you do that, see if you can get some sort of room for him to move. He is not in a market where the word firm works anymore. It's
okay,
unrealistic. Okay. So before you spend one dime and do that, and then while you're waiting to do that, find someone that'll go out and kind of run some errands and help you out. A few bucks here, get a gas card, like whatever you can do. But
okay.
how'd you find the property?
Uh, use a prop stream looking for tired landlords.
Okay. So I'm just telling you, tired landlords, you got to like hang in there and wear them out. You're in a perfect real estate market to wear them out because his offers are not going to go up. They're going to go down. Okay.
Hmm.
So the word firm is he's a perfect example of how we teach you how sellers, they are so stuck with what's happened the last 4 or 5 years. They haven't quite got the news from the media yet. And by the way, only the media can tell them that real estate's falling apart. Okay. You can't tell them, their agent can't tell them. They're just like, one day they just get this feeling like, I better get rid of this thing. Until he has that aha moment, your deals and your offer is not going to make sense to him. So you might as well just go ahead and set him up right now and figure out how to make a low offer. And he's going to react to you, and it's okay. Just build some rapport up with him, and you are going to be like a shark circling around. I know it's a terrible analogy, but he's not getting a higher offer, and the word firm, you've got to be kidding me, right? On a property like that, it's terrible. Ugh,
Okay.
drives me nuts. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
The problem with tired landlords is you think they're motivated, but like they're salty, and I find female landlords much more reasonable, just because women like. I'm just gonna tell you how it is, guys. They've been there. They just think more logically. Us men sometimes we're just we do stupid things, and so when you get stubborn landlords like this, their ego gets involved in it a lot, and they just like, oh my god. So take a look and see what he bought it for. It doesn't really matter, and just make sure the guy's making a good profit on it, and he doesn't
Yeah,
want
he
to do
bought
the
it for like
repairs.
100K, I believe. Yeah,
What's that?
he bought it for like 100K.
Yeah. But here's the thing is he doesn't want to put any money into it. So
Hmm.
when you talk to him and build rapport, you have to keep talking to him about like you don't have to spend any more money, you don't have to worry about the property. Show him the other side of when the transaction's over. The warning, if he talks about all the people that have talked to him about an offer, tired landlords will talk to 30 or 40 wholesalers, and that's what kind of stinks. And you don't want to be the 34th wholesaler to talk to because they will waste your time. I'm just telling you. Do you know how many other properties he might own?
No, those are the two only properties that he owns, and he actually was talking to another wholesaler, I believe,
Yeah.
the day
He's going to
before.
talk to a ton of them because
Yeah.
he's the perfect target. He has deferred maintenance. He doesn't want to spend a dime, but using the word like firm, he's going to get a huge wake up call in the market. So just make sure you're not buying someone else's problem that you can't make a profit off of, and
Hmm.
go in for the low ball offer, build some rapport up with them, and then just say, listen, what do you need to get rid of these? Because he's probably going to like, you're crazy, James. I'm not doing that. So you go back, hey, what do you need to get rid of these? Like, what's the number? He's obviously not going to fix them up. So I love when tired landlords tell you about the potential of the property, but they don't want to spend one dime doing it. Like, so the word firm, you almost have to chuckle in a market like this when you hear that, right? Firm.
Right.
I'm firm. It's crazy. So, okay, go out and let me know how it works out. You can do that.
Will do. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, man. See ya. So,
Bye.
guys, I want you to understand uh, when a buyer says firm in this market, with a property needs a ton of repairs, like you can't laugh in their face, but like no, deep down, that is a complete bluff. There is no firm. It's completely soft, and they're going to struggle to even find the right buyer to come in and buy it. So, unfortunately, it takes the sellers time to get this negative news. Okay. Well, you and me know it's here. Okay. We're already in a buyer's market. The sellers do not hold the cards anymore. Okay. And it's only going to get worse each month going forward unless something miraculously happens with the Federal Reserve. And the fact that it's run by the government, I would not put a lot of stock into that. But it is what it is. And